Before streaming, before binge watching, before anyone cared about will they, won't they, there was Moonlighting. The show that made Bruce Willis a star. The show that reignited Cybill Shepherd's career and complicated it forever. At its peak, it was one of the biggest behind-the-scenes disasters TV had ever seen. But here's what you probably don't know. ABC was dead set against Bruce Willis until audiences fell in love with him. The scripts were over 100 pages and pushed the crew to the limit. The cast was often rewriting scenes while the cameras rolled, and by the end, it felt like everyone had left the building, including the television audience. This isn't a recap. This is the story of Moonlighting, how it was pitched, what went wrong, and why it quietly disappeared while shaping the next 30 years of television. In 1984, Glenn Gordon Caron, a former writer for Remington Steele, pitched ABC Something Weird, a screwball romantic comedy disguised as a detective series. He was coming off a development deal at 20th Century Fox and somehow convinced ABC to take a chance. Caron wanted it fast, funny, and stylized. Think Bogart and Bacall, but with commercial breaks. His elevator pitch? Romance, mystery, and chaos in equal measure. ABC reluctantly said yes, but only if they could cast someone with proven star power for the lead. Caron eventually settled on Cybill Shepherd, a former model turned actress whose film career had stalled. She had starred in The Last Picture Show and Taxi Driver, but hadn't headlined a major project in years. She wasn't ABC's first choice, but Caron believed he needed someone who the audience was essentially rooting against. The show was about the thawing out of this beautiful ice queen, Caron said, and I knew that the public saw her as spoiled and bratty. The male lead? That was a fight. Over 3,000 actors auditioned. Some of the names among the thousands who tested were Beretta's Robert Blake, and even comedian and DJ Rick Dees. Bruce Willis showed up from New York with a punk haircut and earrings. A bartender and part-time stage actor with just a few minor TV credits. Network executives hated him, but Caron thought Willis was the only one who could stand toe-to-toe with Cybill. They shot a test pilot, and the execs still hated him. Test audiences, on the other hand, loved him. ABC gave in. The result was Moonlighting, and it didn't look like anything else on TV when it premiered in 1985. Cybill Shepherd played Maddie Hayes, a former model whose accountant vanished with her fortune, leaving her broke and stuck with a handful of failing businesses, including a struggling detective agency. Bruce Willis was David Addison, the fast-talking troublemaker running the place. Technically, it was a detective show, but most cases were wrapped up in the last 5 minutes, if at all. The rest was rapid-fire banter, bickering, visual stunts, and fourth-wall breaks. One episode was in black and white, another was a musical. The show was all over the place, and it kept viewers off balance for sure. It was smart, smug, self-aware, and strangely addictive. The scripts name-dropped Shakespeare, classic Hollywood, and sometimes the show itself. No two episodes felt alike. I remember watching the show when it originally aired. Bruce Willis just jumped off the screen. Even then, you knew he was going to be a big star. But what you didn't see was how chaotic things were behind the scenes. In the 1980s, most TV dramas cranked out 22 to 23 episodes per season. Moonlighting peaked in season 2 with just 18, and the count dropped from there. Caron insisted on film lighting, cinematic camera work, and wide master shots. Most hour-long shows took 6 to 8 days to shoot. Moonlighting often took 12 to 16. It was one of the most expensive shows on the air, over $1.5 million per episode, double the norm. Scripts ran 90 to 110 pages, thanks to the rapid-fire dialogue. Writers couldn't keep up, pages were handed to actors mid-scene, and rewrites happened between setups. They were literally writing scenes during lunch breaks. The crew called it moonlighting. No one knew when they'd get to go home. One director summed it up perfectly. The most talented set of people I've ever seen, sabotaging their own work. On screen, the chemistry was electric. Off screen, it was something else entirely. Cybill Shepherd brought serious Hollywood experience. Bruce Willis came from bartending and off-Broadway. Their acting styles clashed, and so did their egos. There were rumors of an early romance that turned sour. Eventually, they were barely speaking off camera, and scenes were shot separately when possible. It didn't take Karnak the Magnificent to see where this was headed. Tensions peaked as Willis's stardom exploded. Production delays were blamed on him, but both stars were at fault. Cybill faced complications during her pregnancy. Bruce was juggling movie shoots. By season 3, Willis won it out. He was done with the hours, the waiting, and the behind-the-scenes drama. Ironically, the show was more popular than ever. Moonlighting premiered in 1985 as a mid-season gamble. Just 6 episodes, modest ratings, but it got people talking. By season 3, it was a certified hit, cracking the top 10 in the Nielsen ratings. But the chaos and bickering behind the scenes eventually caught up to it. Episodes aired sporadically, and fans began to lose interest. By the final season, the show had dropped all the way to 70th place. By this point, the writing was on the wall. To understand how it all unraveled, you have to go back to the beginning, to Glenn Gordon Caron. He was a genius behind Moonlighting, and also the problem. His perfectionism pushed the show into groundbreaking territory, and pushed everyone else to the edge. Writers quit, directors cycled through, and editors scrambled just to get episodes finished. Actors were handed 20 pages of new dialogue and told to memorize it by morning. ABC wanted a straightforward detective series. Caron gave them musical numbers, fourth wall breaks, and even an episode in Shakespearean verse. It all came to a head when Cybill Shepherd reportedly gave ABC an ultimatum before season 5. Fire Caron or she'd walk. The network blanked, and without the show's creator, everything unraveled. The writing got shaky, the tone wandered, and the cast looked like they'd already checked out. By the final season, episodes felt less like TV and more like contract obligations. After the finale aired, it just vanished. No reruns, no DVDs, no streaming, Seacrest out. But why? One word: licensing. Moonlighting leaned hard on licensed music. Motown, Billy Joel, The Police, none of it was cleared for home video or digital. When DVDs took off, fans wondered where it was. The answer: legally stuck. A partial DVD release came out in 2005, but much of the music was replaced. It flopped. Fans complained it wasn't the same, and they were right. After Bruce Willis retired from acting in 2022 due to health issues, fans rallied for a proper release. In 2023, Moonlighting was finally remastered, complete with its original music. Today, it's streaming at last, on Prime Video, Disney Plus, and Apple TV. After more than 30 years, the show that helped invent a format finally became watchable again. But here's the thing. It never really disappeared. Not in the way it shaped TV, not in the shows that came after. Moonlighting broke every rule, and it paid the price. But its fingerprints are everywhere. Ally McBeal, Scrubs, Fleabag, all borrowed its odd pacing and tone. Castle, Bones, The X-Files, all those followed the will they, won't they blueprint. Breaking the fourth wall, Moonlighting was doing it before it was cool. Cybill Shepherd went on to star in Cybill, a sitcom loosely based on her life, and won 2 Golden Globes. She kept working with roles on The L Word and Psych, but Moonlighting remained the headline on her resume. Bruce Willis, meanwhile, went from TV charmer to action star overnight. Die Hard didn't just boost his career, it detonated it.
We interrupt our regular program schedule to bring you this special report from ABC News. We now return to our regular program schedule.
From Pulp Fiction to The Sixth Sense to The Fifth Element, he never looked back. ABC never found another show quite like it, and they never let another one spin that far out of control again. It left behind a few hard lessons. Don't kill the romantic tension without a plan. Don't let your stars rewrite the script. And don't spend 16 days shooting a 1-hour episode on a TV budget. Moonlighting didn't just burn bright. It self-destructed in full view of the audience. And somehow, that's what makes it unforgettable.